You made that username years ago. Some forum, a gaming platform, maybe an old Reddit account. Doesn't matter. You picked something clever, something that felt disconnected from your actual identity. No real name, no photo, nothing traceable. Here's what you didn't think about. You reused it. Not everywhere maybe, but enough. Same username on 3 platforms, same email on 2 of them, a profile picture that appears in a Google image search, a comment you left in 2017 with your city in it. None of that felt like a risk at the time. Each piece looked like nothing on its own. But OSINT doesn't work on pieces. It works on patterns. And when you connect those pieces, username to email, email to services, services to social profiles to photos, photos to real name, you don't get fragments anymore. You get a person. Today, I'm covering 5 tools that OSINT researchers and ethical hackers actually use to do exactly that. Not theoretical tools, not enterprise software that costs $40,000 a year. Open source, widely used, and capable enough to seriously surprise you with what they surface, starting from almost nothing. Before we get into it, this is an educational video. Every tool in this video is used legitimately by penetration testers, bug bounty researchers, corporate investigators, and security professionals who are working on systems and targets they have explicit authorization to investigate. Using these tools against real people without consent or against systems you don't own is illegal in most jurisdictions, and it's not what this channel is about. The goal here is to understand the attack surface so you can think about your own exposure and help others do the same. First up, Sherlock. The name fits. You give it a username and it goes looking. Specifically, it checks that username against over 300 social media platforms, forums, and websites simultaneously and tells you everywhere that username exists. GitHub, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Steam, LinkedIn, Pinterest, dev communities, niche forums, hundreds of sites, one query, results in seconds. Why does that matter? Because most people don't create a fresh identity for every platform they join. They find a username they like and they carry it, which means the same handle that appeared on a gaming forum in 2013 might also be attached to a LinkedIn profile with a full name, a GitHub with real code and location metadata, and an Instagram with photos. Sherlock doesn't find the information on those platforms. It finds the accounts. The investigator follows up manually from there. But having confirmed account locations across 300 sites in 30 seconds instead of 3 hours is the whole point. It's open source, Python-based, runs from the command line, and it's free. Setup takes about 5 minutes if you've ever used pip before. The honest limitation? Not every result is accurate. Some sites return false positives. Sherlock marks a username as found when the platform just shows a generic profile not found page that looks like a valid response. You need to verify results manually, especially on platforms you don't recognize. It's a starting point, not a final answer. Tool 2 is Holehe, and this one takes a different entry point entirely. Instead of a username, Holehe starts with an email address. And what it does with that email is quietly clever. It checks whether that email is registered on hundreds of online services by attempting password resets and observing the responses. Most platforms will tell you, either directly or through error messaging, whether an account exists for a given email. Holehe reads those responses without ever triggering an actual reset or touching the account. The result is a map of services. You run a target email through Holehe, and it comes back with a list. This email has accounts on Spotify, Adobe, Dropbox, Twitter, PayPal, GitHub, Airbnb, whatever's registered. Not the credentials, not the content, just the footprint. That footprint tells you a lot. It tells you what platforms the person uses, which gives you more places to look. It can confirm whether a suspected email actually belongs to someone by matching the service list against what you'd expect from them. And it helps connect an email address to a broader identity when you already have partial information. It's also open source and command line based. Lightweight, fast, and the output is clean. Where it falls short, coverage isn't complete. Some platforms have changed their password reset flows to be less informative, so Holehe can't always get a clear signal. And like Sherlock, it tells you presence, not content. It's a mapping tool, not an extraction tool. Tool 3 is GHunt, and this one genuinely catches people off guard the first time they see it run. GHunt investigates Google accounts. You give it a Gmail address, and it pulls back everything publicly associated with that account that Google's own APIs expose, which, depending on the target's privacy settings, can include a lot. Full name, profile photo, Google Maps reviews and the locations they imply, YouTube channel activity, linked Google Calendar events that were made public, and, in some cases, other connected Google services. The Maps review piece is particularly interesting to watch in action. A lot of people don't think of their local reviews as OSINT relevant, but if someone has reviewed 20 restaurants, shops, and gyms over 2 years, you now have a behavioral map: neighborhoods they frequent, places they go on weekday mornings, areas they probably live or work near. That's geolocation data that the target generated voluntarily and never thought twice about. Google accounts are also central identity infrastructure for most people, tied to their Android device, their app purchases, their Drive documents, their email. The account itself is a hub. GHunt doesn't crack any of that open, but it reads what's visible on the outside, and that's sometimes more revealing than people realize. The main limitation is privacy settings. Someone who's locked down their Google account visibility will return much less, and the tool requires some setup. You need a valid Google account and cookies to authenticate the API calls. It's not quite as plug-and-play as Sherlock or Holehe on first run, but the documentation is solid. Tool 4, PhoneInfoga. And this one covers an angle that a lot of OSINT tutorials skip over: phone numbers. People treat phone numbers like they're semi-private. They're not your public email. They're not your social media handle. They feel more personal. But phone numbers are increasingly tied to everything: two-factor authentication, account recovery, delivery apps, ride shares, food platforms, banking. A phone number is a primary identifier for a huge portion of modern digital life, and it leaks in more places than most people realize. PhoneInfoga takes a phone number and runs it through a series of intelligence sources. It identifies the carrier, the country, the number format, and what that tells you about its origin. It checks whether the number appears in data breach repositories. It scans for social media profiles linked to that number, platforms that index phone numbers in searchable ways. It checks Google, which indexes phone numbers more broadly than most people know. The output varies based on the number. Some queries come back thin. Others return a carrier, a regional location, a name from a social platform that used the number as a recovery contact, a reference in a public directory. It depends entirely on how widely the number was used and what got indexed. PhoneInfoga is open source, actively maintained, and well documented. There's both a command line version and a web UI if you prefer working in a browser. The honest caveat: depth of results is inconsistent. Numbers from some countries and carriers surface a lot. Others surface almost nothing. Don't expect the same result every time, but when it hits, it's worth having in the workflow. Tool 5, Social Analyzer. At surface level, it sounds similar to Sherlock, finds accounts across platforms. But the way it works and what it produces is actually quite different. Social Analyzer doesn't just find accounts by username. It analyzes the profiles it finds. It extracts publicly available data from those profiles: biotext, profile photos, follower counts, posting history metadata, linked accounts, location data, any information the platform exposes publicly, and scores each profile for credibility and relevance. It's trying to answer not just, does this username exist here, but is this the same person? And what does their presence on this platform tell us? It covers over 1,000 platforms and websites. That's broader than Sherlock's current list. And the analysis layer, even just the aggregated public data from multiple profiles, starts to build something that looks less like a list of accounts and more like a behavioral profile. How active are they on each platform? What kind of content? Any consistent location signals? Linked social accounts they've listed in their own bios. The tool is open source, available via GitHub, and has a web-based interface that makes it more accessible than pure command line tools if you're newer to this workflow. For investigators and researchers who want breadth combined with some automated analysis rather than pure enumeration, it fills a different role than Sherlock, even though the starting point looks the same. The limitation worth knowing: the analysis layer is only as useful as the public data each platform exposes. Locked down or private accounts return almost nothing beyond confirmation of existence. If this was useful, drop a like. It genuinely helps the channel. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And leave a comment. Which of these tools were you already using, and which one surprised you most? I'll see you in the next one.